Tensions between Canada and the United States have escalated sharply following remarks challenging Canadian sovereignty and economic policies. The suggestion of annexing Canada as the 51st U.S. state has been met with strong opposition. These tensions have played out against the backdrop of events like the Four Nations Face-Off Hockey Championship, where political statements became intertwined with national pride. The situation intensified with the U.S. leaders' remarks about calling the U.S. hockey team before their match against Canada, coupled with statements from the press secretary reiterating the vision of integrating Canada into the U.S. This assertion came just before the U.S. and Canadian teams faced off in the championship game at Boston's TD Garden, transforming the event into a focal point of national pride and political expression. During the opening ceremony, Canadian singer Chantal Kreviazuk altered the lyrics of O Canada, singing that only us command instead of and all of us command, a direct rebuke. Canada's victory over the U.S. was celebrated passionately, seen as a symbolic reaffirmation of sovereignty. Following the game, the Canadian Prime Minister declared, "You can't take our country, and you can't take our game," underscoring Canada's determination to maintain its independence. These events are the culmination of increasingly bold statements suggesting that Canada should become the 51st state. These remarks, delivered through various channels, have sparked political tension and fueled a wave of patriotism among Canadians. The rhetoric began with casual remarks during a private meeting between leaders, including a joke about Canada becoming a U.S. state. Later, messages on social media amplified the speculation. The rhetoric escalated from offhand comments to a more structured narrative, with statements about economic leverage and the benefits of integration. The vision was further hinted at in an inaugural address, although Canada was not explicitly named. The campaign transformed into a full-scale political provocation, with executive orders imposing tariffs on Canadian goods, citing concerns about various issues. These tariffs were denounced as an act of economic aggression. While there were brief periods of softened stances and postponed tariffs, the underlying message of annexation remained. Interviews and social media posts reiterated the idea. The hockey championship provided another platform for this rhetoric, with pre-game comments and post-game assertions. In response, the Canadian Prime Minister firmly rejected the idea, stating, "Canada is not for sale." Opposition leaders also took a strong stand. The Defence Minister described the annexation comments as offensive, but expressed confidence in Canada's security. A member of Parliament offered a critical response, emphasizing Canada's sovereignty and democratic values. In the aftermath, a surge of patriotism swept through Canada, with displays of national identity and unity. The economic ties between the U.S. and Canada constitute a significant and mutually beneficial trade relationship. The total bilateral trade in goods and services reached approximately $1.2 trillion in 2024. While the U.S. has a goods trade deficit with Canada, this is largely driven by energy imports. Canada is the largest export market for the U.S., while the U.S. is the destination for the majority of Canada's exports. Unlike other U.S. trade relationships, this one is more balanced and reciprocal. The USMCA has further strengthened market integration. Over 2 million U.S. jobs depend on trade with Canada. Trade covers a broad range of industries, including energy, automotive, agriculture, metals, machinery, and technology. Energy is crucial, with Canada being the largest foreign supplier of oil, natural gas, and electricity. Canada supplies a significant portion of U.S. crude oil imports, essential for U.S. refiners. Canada is also the largest electricity supplier. Disruptions in energy trade could lead to shortages and price spikes. The automotive sector is also vital, with production deeply intertwined across the border. The industries function as a single unit, with parts crossing the border multiple times during assembly. Disruptions would severely impact production and prices. The U.S. also relies on Canada for raw materials, including critical minerals. Disruptions could lead to shortages and increased production costs. The agricultural sector is another area of interdependence, ensuring food security and price stability. Disruptions would have consequences for grocery prices and food availability. The economic ties are not just beneficial, they are essential. The U.S. is deeply reliant on Canadian imports. The economies are highly integrated, and disruptions would have severe consequences for U.S. industries, workers, and consumers. The U.S. cannot afford to jeopardize this relationship. While the U.S. economy is larger, its supply chains, energy security, and industrial base depend on Canada, making this relationship indispensable for stability. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching this video. We sincerely appreciate you joining us today.